Welcome back, everybody, to episode 8 here in the Happy Space Prison. We need to take things and slow them back down a little bit. I was rushing kind of at the end of the last episode just to get the power up and running and the oxygen system here up and running because I wanted to fit it all into one episode. But I'm going to take it a little bit and work on a few things in between before we start just going willy-nilly expanding out into the wilderness. For one, I added in a couple more pumps here. So now I have 3 dedicated oxygen lines coming out of our oxygen storeroom. I have 2 that go up to the atmo-suits so that we can get these filled up as fast as possible. And then these are just set up with priority lines so that both lines are filling starting from here and then going to the end. So that way we can get all the oxygen suits filled up as fast as we can. I'm still working on making the last couple so that we can have our dock filled. And the other thing I did is I took off some of this piping. So right now the renewable water source that we have connected to this system is just this cool steam vent. And its average output is only 1.5 kilograms per second. Each of these uses 1 kilogram per second. So even running all 3 of these, we're going to be going through that water faster than we can make it. And that's okay, because we have some backlog. But I don't want to be running all 9, because all we're going to do is end up turning all this water directly into oxygen and hydrogen, which we don't need because we have a big backlog to handle for the moment. And then if this pool empties out, this water, instead of being 74 degrees up here and 60 degrees down here, is going to be very hot very quickly. And I don't have it set up to do any kind of shielding. The other thing is that I put this in here right in our base. Probably at the worst possible spot, right next to our refrigerator. But, you know, I was just trying to get it so that it was all nice and compact. I want to start planning out where I'm going to be putting power long-term. Ooh, did I just... Oh, there is salt water there, but that's a plant. I thought that was another geyser. There probably is one over here if there is salt water there, but so I think I want to do like just some exploratory digs. So like just kind of digging, instead of digging directly into a biome. I do want to empty this one out starting today. I want to get into it, but I want to see the rest of the map first. So I'm going to send out some tunnels and bridging just to get out to the edges of the map and see what all kind of biomes are available, hopefully see some more vents and come up with a plan before we start moving anything around. Just in case anybody was wondering why I have multiple deodorizers all in like a tight spot in here, what happens with these is that when you are done with them and they've gotten all the polluted oxygen, they have like this tiny little bit in that can't be converted because it needs to have 100 grams of polluted oxygen before it'll convert to oxygen. So it sits in there. So when I deconstruct this deodorizer, that little tiny bit of polluted oxygen pops out and then it'll float around and it'll get into my systems. It'll mess things up. But if I have another deodorizer within range of it, it'll immediately get pulled into here. And then what my goal is I would just deconstructing them strategically. I'm going to get them into this one. I will close it off here. I'll deconstruct it diagonally, and then I'll put a block in to delete the polluted oxygen. It's a lot of extra work, but I do not want polluted oxygen inside this oxygen tank that I took so long to clean out. Mostly because if it bounces around and then it gets up in here and it gets into one of these spots, it could potentially break my hydrogen seal. And that would be a bad time for everybody. So we're just working our way to get that cleared up. We're going to clean this up. I also put some ladders in here so that basically, as I want to add gas pumps, I can do 4 here and they can reach it to do all the wiring. Then I can do 4 more here, 4 more here, 4 more here, 4 more here, if I need to go that far. I don't think I'm ever going to be pumping that much oxygen out of this system. It's just going to store it to crazy amounts. But theoretically, if these are all running, I can pull out 8 kilograms per second, which is 16 pumps. So actually, I guess I would just need this one, this one, this one, and this one. So this section here is overkill. I may shrink it down, change it around, but I kind of like it being a cube, or technically a rectangle, not a square. But we, the other thing we're doing before we do the exploration, or while we're doing the exploration, is I'm slowly converting our power grid over to conductive wire, just because we're having breaks because we're sending too much power through this grid. We'll probably have to put in some more power transformers as well, so that we have some extra load potential, because we need to balance it out. I could theoretically still run off of regular wire, and I might do that because refined metal is at a premium right now. Metal in general is at a premium. I think it's time for us to put our metals up on our board, because that's something we're going to be looking for. So those are our metals, and then our refined metals are that. So we definitely short on metal in general. We have a bunch of iron now, but we are really short on refined metals. We're making it as we go to do the things we need. So I'm going to work on just getting the power grid stable so I don't have any more overloading spots. And then hopefully by the end of this episode, we will have found where we're going to move our power station and grid to for our final one. And then we can move this around. We'll see how it goes. Just wanted to show you what I was talking about. So I boxed in that last deodorizer, and I broke in from the bottom, and the polluted oxygen came out. So if I broke that in there, I'd have that bouncing around causing me trouble. Now I can just put in a block and it'll push it out, and then I will put in an insulated tile to finish it, and then I'll clean this up. All good. That way we don't have any polluted oxygen polluting our tank in there. I've done some work with the power grid here. Basically, I just set them up with the 2 small transformers. The reason I'm doing 2 small instead of 1 large is because then that way the maximum that can come out is 2K. If you do a large power transformer, that can generate, or that can transmit 4K per wire. But the wires can only handle 2 themselves. So if you do 2 small ones, then you can only send 2K across the line, and you'll never get circuits overloaded. I'm also breaking them up so that they are in smaller groups. That way, this line now has a potential load of 1400. This one's at 990. This one's still at 3120, so I'm going to have to balance some things out there, which is fine. I'll shift some things around. Down here, I have one that is just connected to one of the power transformers. That means it's limited to 1K, so I left it on a regular line. The potential load's only 505. So it's not going to break that line, and it's just to run this carbon skimmer and some deodorizers. So everything is now back to being powered. I still have some more wires to replace up here and distributing that power correctly. Next, we're going to start working on digging around over here. I want to just expand this pit out a little bit before I go up, because I'm going to be digging into areas that have liquid, and then we're going to work our way over here and just go up the edge of this to get to the top of this abyssalite layer, and then work our way over and follow it. That's the goal. We're basically going to get to the edge of abyssalites and then dig our way around. We're also going to be digging down through here, because there's a path that I can do through here that will allow us to get down to this section and see some more deeper into the map. So I'm going to go down to there, hit the abyssalite, and then we'll just dig along it. And now that we have atmo-suits, we don't have to worry about duplicants not being able to breathe, so that's much better. We can just continue to dig all the way down here and see what's in this section. So we're just going to basically be queuing up a bunch of commands like that, let people go. We're a little short on dupe power because we still only have the 8, but I don't want to go beyond 8 until I have more food support, because even though I have some excess food, including some that I've gotten from the printing pod over time, that they currently can't eat, the food supply is not sustainable beyond where we're at. So if I add more than a couple dupes, we're going to start hitting food problems. So I'll have to add in more food sources before I do that. And I'm still not sure if I want to do expanding this one, if I want to add in a plant-based source, if I want to add in Pacus. I haven't decided yet. So there's lots of things I can do, and I'm just not quite there yet. So we will work on it. But for now, we just want to continue on with our exploration. which we can do with our current dupes. We have several at home managing things, and we can send a couple out to do the digging and exploration around the map. I actually made a little bit of a mistake. I just wanted to clarify. Dupes could come down here to get down here without an atmo-suit on. So what I did is I blocked off this ladder so they can't. I disconnected the other ladders over here. So now if I look at a duplicant and look at their navigation, they can get down here, but they can't get down here through here. So to get to this section, they have to go through this new hole that I cracked open over here, which means this whole area underneath is now only atmo-suit accessible. It still has oxygen in it because I haven't sealed it off, but they can't come down and around without an atmo-suit on, which means that this is all safe. Now they can start digging into this area filled with, horrible gases in atmo-suits. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear, because it was, when I first did it, Meemaw came down here and she was digging in this carbon dioxide, and she was going to have to run back up and get air every few seconds. That's not what I want. I'm going to send somebody to open this up. It's been sitting here for, I don't know how many cycles. Let's see what's in it. And then we'll probably remove it. There's probably, if I had to guess, there is a, I forget what they're called. The neural things, the neural vacilators. I think that's what they're called. For somebody to get a little brain boost. So we may keep that there, but the rest of this I'm just going to rip out. Finished exploring up here in this slime biome. I got all the way around so I can see all the abyssalite on the edges. And most interesting thing is in here, there is a gold volcano. I can't quite get into it because I don't have the super duper hard digging skill. So let's get somebody in here that can. Harold, you are now our super hard digger, and Quinn will give you that ability too. You can both handle it. I'm left this tile there, that way the volcano won't erupt, but then they can get in, dig it out, just so I can see it easily when looking around. Also, down here, the exploration has gone in, and I found this one here. It's a steam vent. So, I don't know that that's the best source for water, but at least it's another water source technically. So we're getting there. And in this area, I have dug down to here. Still haven't quite found anything, so I'm going to work on going down a little bit farther. So let's come down to here. Then we'll go down here. And we'll come across underneath this abyssalite to get to here, and down a little bit farther. So we're continuing that way. I did dig out up here, pretty big tank, so that all this water could fit in it. I think it's going to be big enough. I'm going to put one more block up just in case. I built a little wall here because I'm ready to crack into this salt biome. I didn't want the waters mixing, so I cleaned that all up. Now we can go in here and dig this out, and then we'll dig down so that we can get the water to flow down to the bottom of this patch. And we'll just dig along here. We'll start working on going the whole way across the abyssalite here. We'll turn this into a saltwater tank. I don't need the salt water just yet, but I want to get in here, crack this open so that it's not over pressure, because right now it's not producing anything because of the geyser being over pressure, and so that's just wasting potential there. So we get in there, we'll crack it open, we'll get somebody in there to research it. And that will be good. So let's put a ladder up there so that they can do the research. And we'll dig this out too to help with the water flow down. And we'll dig along there. So that's our next big dig project. But they're finishing this out. I want this to be priority 7 just because I'm a little concerned that last water draining out is going to overflow. And I don't want it to do that. So we'll go up one more tile and then it should be plenty. I'm going to start using this water soon, so it won't matter. I haven't quite decided what I'm doing with it. It really depends on this water and some other things. And then after we get this one explored, we'll probably crack on this way. The other thing I found is I noticed a volcano here. Well, a geyser, vent, volcano, something. So I queued that up to dig it just so I can easily see it when I'm scrolling around. But we have to get in there to do that. So let's queue that up a while. We'll just do a dig kind of diagonally up. And then same thing up here. That'll get us across to it, and then we can get in. That way people can slowly work on getting to that one. It'll also give us a view over here. I want to get into this ice biome. I think that's the best one. I ran some pipes already. If I can get them over here, I'll run them probably underneath here to go into the ice biome, and then I'm just going to run them through here to start heating this ice biome up and using that to cool down the oxygen going into our base. So a lot of projects going on at once, but you know, they're slowly getting completed. And I'm also in the same time working on just going down our research tree. We're about halfway there. We still have a few more to do to finish it out, but we're getting there. So everybody's doing their jobs, and we'll just keep on trucking through until we have explored out everything we want. This is my priority right here for now because I want to get that salt water moving. I don't like finding a geyser and then having it just sit overpressured, because there's, you know, every cycle that happens, it's a little less water for the future. We have had a series of unfortunate events. Let's take a little pause here so I can show you what happened. So I decided that I wanted to explore this way, which meant I wanted to seal off this side so that only atmo-suited dupes could get over there. So I closed off here, and I opened up here so that they could get through. I forgot to close off here, which meant dupes could get through here and come down and get through. So duplicants got into our oxygen storage with no atmo-suits on because I had some construction in there. And then, of course, they off-gassed carbon dioxide. And I panicked because I didn't want the carbon dioxide to get into my system. I didn't need to panic because the carbon dioxide can't go up. So it was fine. I fixed it pretty quickly. But in my haste to get the carbon dioxide out, I broke a hole in the wall thinking the carbon dioxide will flow out. Well, what also flowed out was highly pressurized oxygen. So fortunately, I got it closed up pretty quick. 500 kilograms of oxygen did not spread through the entire base. But it is up to like 7 and 8 and 9 down here. So the good news is I won't need oxygen in the base for a little while. The bad news is as this spreads out, I'm probably going to get some popped eardrums. It's not the end of the world. But now our duplicants can't make it through to this side. Our atmo-suited dupes can come over here and start work on this side where we are. To give you an idea where else we are at, we are still working down here through this salt biome. I actually see a little bit of oil there, which is a good sign. I don't see any other geysers or vents in here yet. I got down to the bottom of this one so the polluted water could collect. We will work on cleaning this one out and making it into a water tank sometime. The polluted water is not a priority for me. I don't see anything else here other than that there's an ice biome and a caustic biome here. Nothing to note in it. No geysers or vents. This salt biome also, it's just the top of one. Looks like it goes down a little bit, maybe, but that's something to get into and collect some things. We created a loop here for our oxygen. So you can see the oxygen in this pipe is about, it's coming in at about 40. It's going back out at about 8. It gets back up to about 40 over here. Basically, we're just loading oxygen onto the loop. And then anytime oxygen needs to come out, it comes out. And it's going around and cooling itself down. Eventually, it'll come into a stasis, and we'll see where it's at. I just have a little tiny radiant pipe section in here that's picking up some chill. So it's going from 30 right here, leaving back out almost at 0. And then it warms back up because I just use regular pipes. I'll fiddle around with it, make some other things. Oh, I have... Why are you... No, you're in an atmo-suit. You're just breathing. Okay. Are you trapped or something? Oh, it's just because he has the slime lung. He'll be okay. He'll make it back. Other things that I've done. I finished getting all the polluted water here. I still have some to mop up and some, I don't want to dig this biome out. But this one was a priority because there's a lot of chlorine off-gassing stuff that goes on in here. So a couple things to note when doing the salt biome. I put down an automatic dispenser sweep for bleach stone. Just drops all the bleach stone down here to pile up in the water, which is fine. I also put a storage bin here with poke shell, and I put it at high priority. That way, while I was digging around, any poke shell eggs got moved away quickly so that these guys wouldn't attack us. Right now, I just have these guys sitting over here. I'm probably going to set them up into a wild farm. I'm not sure yet. I think that there are some more of them around. I definitely want to set up a poke shell farm, but it's not a priority. If these guys don't make it by the time I get around to it, I'm sure there are more on the map, but I'd like to set up a wild farm for them. The priority now, though, is I got the saltwater geyser cracked open, and it produces an average output of 3.8K. I want to set up a system to convert this into water, drop it into a water tank here to combine it so that we have more water to send into the hydrocube over here. So that's our priority for now. I'm still exploring, though. Exploring is the name of the game today. I want to get down in here. I want to see as far out into the map as I can go. So now that we have cracked into the ice biome, I think I'm going to dig down here and work our way along this abyssalite and work that way. So we'll do some digging down this way. And start there. I also am working this way into this slime biome to get that all cleared out and see what else is there. Looks like there's another ice biome, another caustic biome here. I'm just mostly looking for geysers to see what I have and to get to the edge of the map. I still haven't hit the edge of the map in any direction. Base game maps are huge, so we're going to continue with the exploration project, and we will figure out everything that we have to see in this map. And I'll come back once we get some more done. Our episode of exploration is coming to a close. We've actually not explored that terrible much. We're only at 47% of the map under pulling back the veil. But we've done quite a bit. So I'm going to show you some of the things that we have discovered. Well, first of all, I finished this loop. All I did for the oxygen loop is I have a loop here. There's some radiant pipe here to pick up some heat from the surrounding area as well. But basically the pipe picks up the oxygen in this room, which is at 60 degrees. It sends it out. And it is coming through here, and it comes out. And it keeps going, and it cools down because it's just the regular pipes. But then it really cools down in this radiant pipe. And it comes back around, and it's at 0 degrees, and it warms up a little bit. And then right here is when it gets to about 27 degrees, so I insulated the rest of it, which means it stays right around 27, 28 degrees, which means it jumps across here, and it comes back out. Oh, I actually need to insulate a few more sections of the pipe so that it doesn't pick up more heat before it gets out to our vent. And then that'll make it so that we can actually get nice cool air going into the base. This wall that I built around to close off the base is also helping with keeping the temperatures more stable because the power room is out here. So there's very little power or little heat going into here. I'm also closing off the top so that then the base will be completely closed. Now our duplicants can work their way around the top and get into all the things. We have this natural gas geyser here. Up here we discovered another one. We're working our way up to the top of the map, through this way over here. Didn't quite get there, but I'm not in a hurry to get to space quite yet. This direction, I worked down here. We worked into this area here to see as much of this as we could. We uncovered another neural vacillator that we'll have to use. And then we also came this way to find the edge of the map. So this is the first edge of the map we discovered. As far as going downwards, we came down here through the salt biome, and I came around the abyssalite, and we found our oil biome, and we can see our magma down here at the bottom. So we're pretty close to the bottom of the map there. Can't quite see the neutronium, but we have the oil and the magma biome exposed at least, so we know where they are, and we can work our way around through them. There's a break in the abyssalite here into the oil biome at this chamber. It's probably where I'm going to set up to go into the oil biome, though I'm going to explore a little more. There's another geyser I need to get to here to check out and see what it is. And then if you come around this way, we have all this here. We continued off from our piping here and worked our way over, and we found this side of the map on this side. Nothing too notable over here. This is a pretty big ice biome, so it'll give us a lot of chill for this for a while, but I didn't find any geysers or anything in here, though you guys may see something I missed. But I'm going to continue to explore. Oh, there's one up here. I'm just gonna, all I do when I find them is I just kind of dig them out with commands, leaving that tile there. So that way when I get up there, I can see that when I look around on the map, I can notice that that's still there. We'll have to get in there to see what that is. That one could be interesting. I know that you can like cheat and look to see, but I like to actually get to them and see what they are. Sometimes I just, change my mind. I'm a pretty fickle person. So let's see. So we got to get up this way. This two natural gas guys are pretty close to each other. It's pretty cool. I can combine them into a source. We'll get in there and find out how much they are. I'm not in a huge hurry. We have tons and tons of hydrogen left, and we can make more. Especially when we tap into this water, we'll convert some of this water. We'll be able to run this full bore to get more hydrogen. And again, down here, I didn't really see any more geysers other than this one to look at, though I'm sure there's plenty in there. We see some oil wells, which means we're going to have some renewable oil options. Lots of things, lots of projects to do right now. So there's poke shells, there's slicksters, there's drecos that are around the map. There's actually some glossy ones here. There's lots of plants that we could work on. There is these poke shells as well. And then we have just cleaning things up too is a big project with all the mess we're making. But now that the base is sealed, I'm not super worried about that. I can let all the gases mix outside. I can let all the liquids mix all I want. I'm trying to keep the fluids at least clean so that I can pump them into systems without having to filter them, but filters aren't that difficult. So we've made a lot of progress. We didn't really get too much built today other than the system here to keep cool air going into the base and closing the base off. We didn't really do a lot of actually building, but getting the map explored so that we can start planning projects out is vital to doing what we want to do in the future. So now we can kind of take some time and just kind of look around and see where do I want to put things. So I'll have to decide where I want to put my power systems, where I want to put our industrial systems, and then where I want to do the base, if I just want to surround it around the portal here, or if I want to change things up. I'm also really glad I did find at least one volcano. So I know I will have a renewable source of refined metal. So a lot of cool projects coming in the future. And that's it for today. We're going to call it there. Like I said, we didn't get too many projects done, but we did explore most of the map. And we'll continue on doing that as we go forward. I also finished a good deal of the research. We still have a little bit left. But once we get down here, we'll be able to get into just doing the space research is all that's left. And that will be a good time. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.